Good morning, everybody. It's Denise with Lazy K Homestead. Still working on apples, but today I'm making apple pie filling that I'm going to can. It's a water bath can, so you can use a giant stock pot if you want to. I've used that for years, but I got a water bather canner at the thrift shop, brand new, $10. So you guys check it out. You don't have to pay those big prices. So I just wanted to show you all the ingredients that goes into this recipe. I am going to talk more about that, but I'm going to get back to my apples. There are my beautiful apples I got in Pikeville, Tennessee. They are just gorgeous. I mean, isn't that a picture? Hey guys, well, I'm at my kitchen table, my apple peeler core slicer station, using my nifty little tool here, my Apple Master. I mean, I can't tell you how fast this is going. This is just the coolest thing. And I've got 3 bushels of apples. So, and you know what? I usually do everything by hand, peeling with my paring knife, but I have hardly any waste. I mean, the peels, the core, everything, and it's just wonderful. So I am a real happy camper. So I just wanted to tell you I need to work up 6.5 to 7 pounds of apples, and this slices them for me. So all I have to do is take the apple and just slice it on, like, in the middle. I'll show you guys. Hold on, let me show you here. I mean, this just literally takes seconds. It's so cool. Okay, well, it's sliced, cored, and peeled. And I don't even know how long that was, but it wasn't very long. I just push the core out. Sometimes it sticks on there, but however, you just got to make sure your apple is all the way out, and then you can remove it from this. So let me see if I can bring this camera down. So here I've got my sliced, cored, peeled apple, and I'm just going to keep it like that, and I just cut it and cut it. And there you've got your slices for your apple pie filling. Isn't that just the coolest thing? I think so. And there they are in the bowl. Isn't that neat? Well, I'm almost finished with this part, and I'll get over to the stove and we'll put the pie filling, the rest of the pie filling ingredients together, and then we'll can it in a little bit. Okay, we're back over here at the stove where we're going to go ahead and put this recipe together. This is what Miss Palmore, who I got the recipe from, was my 10th grade English teacher. And I went to Piedmont Christian School in Bumpus, Virginia. And Miss Palmer lived behind us, and sometimes I'd ride home with her. And she was the most fantastic cook. They had a dairy farm behind us, and it was in their family for generations, I believe. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. But anyways, they retired and moved to the mountains of Tennessee, and I still have this awesome recipe from Miss Palmore. So my mom used this recipe, and I use this recipe. It makes 6 quarts of pie filling that you would just take out and put in your pie crust and go ahead and cook it. It's very delicious. The only thing I'm going to not do is I'm going to add some ginger, because we do like ginger, and I'm not going to use the yellow food coloring. Now, I know a lot of times back in the day, cooks did use food coloring, but I don't really use it, so that's what I'm omitting. But the recipe will be in the description. So here we go. It says, in a large pan, blend together your first 4 ingredients. So that is 4.5 cups of sugar. Go ahead. I've got that. I don't want to put it in the pan yet. Okay. So there we go. 4.5 cups. 1 cup of cornstarch, because I'm going to go ahead and whisk this together. Okay. And then my spices. which I have 2 heaping teaspoons of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. And I'm just going to go ahead and with my whisk all that together so it's blended before I put it in there, because you do have cornstarch. You want to make sure that it's mixed in with your sugar and stuff. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this to my cooking pot. Making sure it's all nicely blended. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. There's the pot I'm going to use. All right. Put all this in my pot. And I have a puff of smoke from that cornstarch. And I'm going to go ahead and just with my whisk just kind of blend it again, just so it's nicely incorporated. Okay, now to this I add 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, 1 teaspoon of salt. There you go. And I'm going to go ahead and whisk that around again too. Ready? And to all of this, I'm going to add 10 cups of water. So there's 2. And here is 8. I just love this Pampered Chef large measuring cup there that Kelly got me one year. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix it around. And on medium high, well, I think probably a little bit in between medium high, I'm going to go ahead and cook this until it gets nice and thick and bubbly. And then we will go ahead and proceed with the rest of the recipe. Okay, guys, my syrup for the apple pie filling is nice and bubbly and thick. Let me see if I can show you how wonderful it is. See, it's bubbling. Now, make sure you're careful with this because it is hot and sticky and you don't want to get burned. So be careful if you've got kids or animals or anybody that's running around underfoot. So I'll get ready. I'm going to pack my apples into my hot jars. It's just a raw pack. And then we will pour this into the apple, on top of the apples in the jars, and put them in our water bath canner. See you in a minute. Hey y'all, I forgot a step. I have to add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice to this mixture here, the syrup. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I used fresh. Just going to go ahead and stir that in. And if you do use fresh, don't forget to zest your lemon. It's not for this recipe, but zest that lemon and put it in a freezer bag and pop it in the freezer. So if you need a recipe, have a recipe that needs lemon zest, you got it already on hand. Just another way of being frugal, y'all. Okay, guys, I'm putting my very hot syrup in each one of these jars. And I did want to caution you guys, it takes a while for it to get down there because it is hot, and you need to go ahead and put your butter knife or your plastic tool, which I can't find mine, and let the air bubbles come out of these apples, so you get a lot of the wonderful syrup in there. I have a little bit left over, but I will tell you this too. As I have been filling all these jars and the syrup goes down into the apples, I will see that I do need to add a little bit of syrup to each one of these jars because they've been sitting and it's just kind of gone down there, and you want to leave 1-inch headspace. Now, what I gauge that is the bottom ring here of your jar. and that's just about an inch. And you want to make sure that everything, I'll push these apples down a little bit because they've kind of popped up. But there you go, you've got 1 inch headspace. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, I've got everybody's filled. I've got a 1 inch headspace. And the next thing you want to do is make sure that there is no debris, no stickiness or anything. And this is very sticky, so I've had to wipe it a couple times around where your ring and your lid's going to go. And what I'm using is white vinegar and a very clean cloth. So I'm just going to go ahead and go around all this because vinegar will cut it better than water will. You just want to make sure everything is nice. All right, and I've done them all. All right, so the next step, you're going to go ahead and pop your lids on there. And mine have been in simmering warm water. I know some people don't do that anymore. I still do because I feel like it gives your lids a better advantage to seal. But that's clearly up to you. This recipe is a handed down recipe, and I can't tell you if it's USDA approved, but it is something that I have made for over 50 years. And I feel like it's a good recipe. So you use your own judgment. I just wanted to share with you what I do and the recipe I do. So you go ahead and you just put your rings on here, hand tight. I've got my boiling water bath over here. It's been simmering. Everything is hot to hot. You never want to put cold in your hot water, and because it can burst. I've got a wire rack in there. Whoops. And let me go ahead and get that up. The little handles like to fall down. So you just go ahead and you grab your tongs and you put your jars in one at a time. I have to hold these handles up until I can get to where they'll stand up on their own because this hot water is really hot. Okay. I have pretty tough hands, these old hands of mine. So you just put them all in here. You want to make sure your water is at least an inch over the top of your jars. And it looks like I'm going to have to add a little bit of water. I'm going to go ahead and push them down a little bit into that. Okay, I have to add a little bit of water. All right, that's just about an inch. Pretty full. All right, I've got it on my burner, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it on again. And as soon as it starts to ripple in here, let's see if I can move my camera so you can see what I'm doing. There's my jars. Where it's starting to boil, I'll put my lid on and I'll process it for 20 minutes. Okay? And it won't take long because everything is really hot. I wanted to show you what I'm talking about with the little ripple. You see the water is moving. It's getting ready to come to a full boil. I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. And as soon as it comes to a full boil is when I will start timing for 20 minutes. All right, you guys, there's the finished product. 6 beautiful apple pie filling quart jars. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you would. I'm off to make more apple stuff. Bye.